everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our podcast, Beneath Your Skin. This time, we are going to analyze the movie The Last Exorcism 2. And after how terribly we analyzed the first movie, I was really doing this only because I love Zoe so much. But actually, I enjoyed the sequel a lot more than I have enjoyed the original one. So I was surprised, that's for sure, and also I was really shocked that this one is a good movie. I mean, at the beginning of the movie, we see in less than 1 minute everything that happened in the first movie. And really, that short editing was a lot creepier and enough already than the whole movie in part one. So, yeah, I was like, okay, you know what? I probably can enjoy this. So, what do you think, Zoe?
Yes, I definitely think it's better than the first one. I think it was a very wise decision to make it as an actual movie and not a found footage film. I think that really tightened everything up. I do appreciate the fact that the entire first movie was told in about 2 seconds as the credit rolls. And you're like, yep, that's exactly, those are all the key points. You're up to date. Good, we're ready to go. This film was definitely better made. And it definitely started off stronger. I think by the end of it, I'd kind of slightly lost interest a little bit. I think it's too long. And I think some of it is a little bit too slow burn. I think it's not good enough to have, needed everything it had in it. And there's still some bits that it didn't explore as much as I would have liked. But the strength of the performance on the girl who plays Nell, she's good. She manages to portray that, naive innocence just perfectly, just the way she sees the world, and it's very nice. But yeah, I was surprised by I was kind of creeped out at the beginning because I was like, what is in the bed? What is going on? And how does she make herself that small to be able to hide behind the fridge? I kept thinking the camera was going to pan down to her sitting on the floor, and no, she managed to turn her body to the size of a toaster and hide next to the fridge on a surface. And I'm like, this actress must be a contortionist or something, because she really knows how to move her body in ways that body shouldn't do and make herself very, very small. But I found that far more creepy than the bit when she's hiding on top of the wardrobe. In the first one was the bit that she was pretending to be a demonic toaster in a kitchen. And I was like, Jesus, that is weird. I mean, it does lose some of its creep factor the longer it goes on and becomes a little bit more generic. But I've got to say, it definitely improved on the first one, and it did a lot more with its lore, which I appreciated.
I totally agree with you. And I really enjoyed all the many changes from the first movie. I appreciated that it didn't give me any motion sickness, so that was something. I was very happy. And near the end of the movie, more or less when the final ritual began, and I was looking at the clock on my laptop, and I realized that less than 20 minutes were left. I was like, okay, probably this is going to fuck up the end of the movie, because it was too many things were said at the beginning, things that we didn't really care about. And I had the feeling that it was left too little time to really got a closure.
Yeah.
And we didn't get it.
No.
So, yeah. I think, do you know if there is a third movie somewhere?
That I don't know. I'd be interested to see, because I kind of want a bit more closure. By the time they introduce the idea of different factions of different religion coming together to use all their various techniques to perform exorcism and fight against the darkness, and there's a secret organization, I was like, woo! But that was only in the last 10 minutes. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're finally addressing the fact that, because remember in the first one, and they said oh, and there's this religion and this religion and this religion, and we were like, why didn't they talk to any of these other religions? Why is there no proof that any of these other? And in this one, they were like, yes, there's people from other, like there's voodoo and stuff in this, and then they actually do have an organization and they do work together and they do know about the evil that's like getting into Earth. And then it was just like, no, bye, I'm off. The end. And I'm like, wait a minute. We only get like one small exorcism scene. Like, this is a film about demonic possession. You need time to do an exorcism. And you haven't devoted enough. Instead, we've had ages of going, oh, we're going to Mardi Gras and everything's beautiful. And at the time, I was enjoying it. But I could have done with less roaming the streets and less like going on dates and less like I'm going to listen to people having sex through walls and more like demonic entity, who's the demon, is it in the friend, is it in you, is it like, I mean, I did appreciate the fact that this one did a much better job of going, is she crazy or is she possessed? Because it's like, well, she's obviously really traumatized by what's happened, so she could just be losing her shit, like she could just literally be mad. There's nothing to say there's actual demons. It's just like some people look at her a bit creepy, and then by the end of it you're like, no, there's definitely evil in the world. But it's so slow burn and so subtle. And then they were like, oh shit, we need to wrap this up. Here's the end scene. Now cars are on fire. The end. And you're like, wait! You went from slow burn, subtle to cars are on fire in the space of like such a short amount of time.
Yeah. And I appreciated that every little detail was creepy in this movie. Even just going down the stairs in what we think is an empty house and the frame that falls down for no reason at all, that was very creepy. But the whole atmosphere was finally what I was expecting in an horror movie about demonic possession. Every single creak in the doors and the woods of the whole house, I was like, shit, what's going on? Is something there? Is someone there? What the hell? Yeah. So I really was very focused on during the whole movie. I loved the roaming the streets during the Mardi Gras. And I liked the editing of that scene when the music was cheerful and it was normal music, but the scene was in slow motion. She began to see people with masks all over the place and the creepy silver living statue that I wanted to punch in the mouth because, for fuck's sake, no! What the hell? Stay away!
That jump scare was great, but if it had been me, I would have screamed and punched him because I have an automatic hitting reflex when I jump. So that was a bit like, whew. But it's that whole thing of like, they could just be normal people in masks because everyone's in masks, but they're just kind of standing there. And then she's having this beautiful experience of like, it's like she's seeing this for the first time and she's had this amazingly horrifically sheltered life and she's like beads and it's like she's seeing colour for the first time and it's lovely. I do think like they could have tightened some of the bits up so that there was more time for the ending, but I did really like the Mardi Gras stuff because of that, like seeing colour for the first time and then people looking her creepily and that bonding with the friends group, although you start to kind of, after that, things start changing a bit when you're a bit like, I don't know if I trust that blonde girl anymore. She seems too happy about someone having a seizure. And it's like, and it's great because they put a moment in this film, I'm jumping all over the place, of another character having a seizure and it looking to now like there's another demonic possession in the house, but it was just a really bad seizure. And you're just like, oh goodness, yeah. So everything up to this point could still be totally not supernatural. And you're right, the atmosphere in the house is great. They make the house very creepy. I mean, that beginning scene, they do that thing what I love with horror films when they change the slight colour palette of the scenes. So it was all those greys and blues that I really enjoy. And you're like, oh, and it was such a sterile house. There was nothing lived in. And you're like, this is, oh, it's unnatural being that sterile. To the house that she goes to live in, which is a very warm and lived-in house. But there's little creaks and there's just things like that just... aren't sitting right, and then obviously Nell keeps seeing like things, and it's like, could that be her dad sitting in the chair, or is it just a pile of laundry? It could go either way because we've all done that bit. I remember recently my husband hung his work uniform up in the bedroom. And normally he hangs it up in the study so that when he gets up in the morning, he goes in there and gets changed. But it was just hanging on a wardrobe. And I turned over in the night, and there was enough light just to see this black silhouette standing in the corner. And I was convinced it was coming towards me. And I was like, Luke, what the fudge is that in the corner? What the fudge is that in the corner? It's looking at me. It looks like it's coming out of the cupboard. And he was like, what are you talking about? There's something in the corner of the room. And he was like, what are you... No, it's my uniform hanging on the cupboard door. Well, it's coming for us. And he's like, it's fine. Just turn around and just ignore it. And then about 10 minutes later, Luke was like, well, now that you've told me, I can't stop staring at it because it's staring at me now. So we had to get out of bed at like 2 in the morning to move his uniform because we were like, there's a person standing in our bedroom. So I totally get how you can think someone's sitting in a chair when I got freaked out by my freaking husband's uniform. Too many horror movies.
That was amazing. Tell Luke that I love him. But if he dares to leave his uniform in your bedroom once again, I will go down and hunt him down.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't need any more nightmare fuel in the night.
No, indeed. Too many horror movies, but we will be ready. For an apocalypse, we will be ready.
Yeah.
Okay. We are not blonde, so we are not going to die first. So we will
I
be
don't
ready.
know, but I am semi-ethnic, and ethnics don't do very
yeah.
well.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Mm. Too bad, Zoe. It was good to know you.
I'm also kind of like, I'm the funny like plus size girl, so I either do survive or I don't. It depends on how they go. I'm hoping I'm token enough that they keep me around.
Yeah, probably. You are going to confuse the enemies, and he will be like, wait a
minute, you don't look ethnic, but you are ethnic. But you acted a bit ethnic, but you're also westernized. Oh no! But you're also funny, and you don't kill the funny, unless it's Scream, and then you do kill the funny. But you're also plus size, and you can't kill the fat girl, because that's just like, it's not kosher anymore. But I could be going against... I was like, yeah, I gotta throw it all in there. And then they'll just be so confused by that point. I've like, not run away, because I don't run particularly fast, but I've definitely waddled away.
Well, in truth, the poor villain will explode because he will be so confused. His head will explode. So yeah, you are safe. Okay, I decided that you are safe.
Yeah, cool. And, sounds good.
What I liked in the movie was how she blossomed into a strong young woman. At some point, she looked so happy. She's still a child somehow because she never could live in real society. So the first time she discovers small things like music and headphones and rock music, she's so happy. It's like she's finally growing into herself. And the whole movie, she was powerful. She was this young woman who is falling in love for the first time, who decided that the nightmares of her past life won't hunt her down again. She wants to live her life. She wants to learn new things. She wants to work and be independent. And at some point, boom, all her dreams come to a stop. Because things are starting to be strange again, and things are starting to happen. She sees her father once again, and for a long time, we don't know if she is imagining things or if her father was really there, until the moment he decided to go the wrong way into helping her. Now is the innocent girl. You don't have to kill her to stop the demon. You try to stop the demon itself, or to stop the cult and the cultist, or whatever you want to do, but you don't go straight in killing the innocent girl, because really, that's your great plan, to ask for God's forgiveness because you are going to kill your daughter after everything you did to her? No, okay. I wasn't very sad when she died. And at some point, the point of no return in the movie close to the end, but not yet at the end, she goes back. She steps back into the shadow, into the scarred young girl she was. She puts on unfitting clothes and cardigans to hide herself once again. She is back to be the girl we met during the first movie, the quiet and shy girl from the countryside who doesn't want to be seen because she knew already that to be seen means to be abused and used by the cult. So, and then we have another revelation. Demons can love. I was like, no, what do you mean the demon is in love with her? So first, he got her pregnant with a bloody blob,
Yeah.
and then he falls in love with her. Okay, demon, look at me. Try to work on your priorities, please.
And also, isn't the bloody blob the demon? Didn't she give birth to the demon and then they put it in the fire? It turned into a fire demon and then obviously killed lots of people. Also, the one thing I want to know, where did Reuben go in all this? Because he survived the end of the last movie. And I kept expecting him to turn up. And I was
me
like,
too.
Where did you go? But yeah.
I was expecting to see him behind one of the masks in throat.
Yes. And,
really.
Yeah. And then I kept thinking, you know what? I bet it was the brother that got her pregnant.
Exactly. I had the same thought. So I was waiting for him to come out from nowhere. And no, it didn't happen. They decided to have the father, who was a lame character because
I didn't like the father because the father, even if there wasn't any, he did like take her out of Sunday school and shelter her far too much and not address his own issues and tried to kill her multiple times. I was just like, it's like I don't have any sympathy for you, really. But I suppose it's what she loved and what was tethering her was the relationship between the father. But I am surprised that she didn't think about the brother. But no one seems to have thought about the brother. I mean, he got his face slashed over and went to hospital. We never saw him again. then he killed some people and then we never saw him again. It's like, did they not find the chopped up bodies? They say that they found everyone in the fire. I hate plot holes like that. And it was like, oh, everyone was dead. And it's like, but fire doesn't chop people up, doesn't decapitate people. Also, if she has a brother, like, if they know her name and surname, couldn't they look up her records and go, oh, yes, she has a brother out there somewhere? Just, oh, well,
Good
never mind.
Questions.
Never mind.
Good questions.
Luckily, the rest of the film, the atmosphere and stuff was good enough for me to not think about it until now. And now I'm like, damn you, the first movie has made plot holes in this movie. Like, if you could ignore the first one completely, then this one would be fine.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely. And at some point, I was, me and my obsession for details. At some point, I was starting to get antsy because I was like, okay, at the beginning of the movie, we see the nurse cut her hair.
Yes.
So I was pretty sure that was important, but the movie kept going and we didn't see the nurse anymore. So I was like, no, please tell me that they didn't just cut her hair because it was a nice scene to shoot. So I was getting a little bit, come on. And finally the nurse comes back on screen. And I was very happy because details are important during a well-done movie. And this one is a well-done movie, is also well-written. I can see the screenplay structure here. I couldn't see it in the first movie, but now I can, thank God. And I really love she was a voodoo priest.
Yes.
I loved that she took a fundamental figure of the voodoo religion, like Baron Samedi, who for Western culture is an evil character, but she used him as a protector, and Baron Samedi was born as a protector. That was his first role in the voodoo culture, because he was supposed to protect the slaves taken from their lands and used in Louisiana as slaves. So I really liked the attention they put to finally use the voodoo, so important in New Orleans, because it's a huge part of the history and culture of that particular city. So I was very happy that they did it. And I also liked that there is a structure. There are more people who knows about the devil and the darkness in the world. They have different background. One is a nurse, the other one is a nurse or a doctor, we don't know well, but they come from different background, and they come from different social status, because the white man, who is the main priest, is obviously not in the same league as the other two. So it's and yet they work together to try to stop a prophecy from happening. And for a moment, we really think they are going to defeat the demon. We think they can do it together. They can save Nell. Until the moment, Nell use her free will, and she lets the demon in, and then bam.
Yeah. I do like an ending that isn't like a happy ending. Sometimes like demons and stuff win. And it's nice to see a different kind of ending. I mean, both films kind of ended with some demonic thing like being set free or winning, but this one made it a lot more clearer what was going on. I also like the fact that someone out there uploaded the found footage to the internet and people are watching it and it's like spreading, so the girls are kind of like, is this you? And Nell's like, no, but she's just such good things with like with her fingers. You see the whole way through the movie she's doing little like holding her fingers in a certain way, and she doesn't quite know what this habit she's picked up in, but when she sees the video of her breaking her own fingers, she suddenly realizes why she keeps almost like testing to see if her fingers work, and then it kind of clicks that recently she'd broken them all. I mean, they must have healed pretty quickly. Oh no, it's been like 2 months, 3 months. No, still broken fingers would definitely take more than 3 months to heal, I think. But we won't worry about timescales. But she's got all that like those memories coming back, and that blonde girl. Ever since she smirked at the girl having a seizure, I was like, no, if you're smirking at people having seizures, there's something not right. And it just means that like everything has been following now. All these people have been put in place, and like the first friend she makes, like, was put there to kind of steer her and like, push her towards the dark side. And in little ways, such little ways, like, why don't you wear makeup? Why don't you try to flirt with that guy? Let's like kind of encourage you to come out of your shell a bit. Here, rock music. 'Cause obviously everyone knows that rock music is the music of the devil. And just little things. You're like, oh, she's been subtly grooming her for this. And then when Nell starts having her own like sexual awakenings and realizing that like, sexual thoughts aren't so bad, maybe she does fancy this guy, and then she's remembering all those times that she was sexual, and the way she like her arm strokes her as if it's something else, and it's like, oh, the demon's already in her body, and they're already like, having weird sex dreams and stuff, especially by the time she has the orgasm that's so like amazing that she floats up, and you're like, ooh, that's well, she looks like she's having a good time. Like, yeah. I was like, best sex dream ever just happened there. I'm a little jealous, but then again, maybe awesome demon sex would probably be amazing. Not healthy, but amazing. And yeah, and then little things like the showing of the corruption, like when she hears the couple having sex in the room next door at the hotel, and she puts her ear to it, and then you can see like, the blackness like creeping out, and it's like it's her breath, and what she doesn't realize is when she's looking at it this way, the breath is kind of like running backwards, and it's like, and then there's something standing in the doorway, and it's like, oh, you started having like your sexual awakening and sexual fantasies, and demons love a bit of that, and that was like that's their way in. And they say the whole way through the demon's in love with her. It wants to seduce an innocent, and she loses if she gets seduced. And she's getting seduced, and you think that she's having this wonderful first love experience with this really sweet guy, like who took her on a date with sugar and went to see beautiful tigers. And it's like, no, it's just another seduction. It's just like she had no chance of winning this thing, because like the first friend and the first love is all part of the demon desperately trying to like seduce her and stuff. And by the end of it, when the secret organisation is trying to save her, she's like, she'd had a sheltered life. She hadn't, people never treated her well, never treated her as a woman, never treated her as an intelligent. And then the first time people do treat her as equal, as intelligent, as desirable, like, I love the fact they left in that line about her liking the shoes, showing that she did want some materialistic things and she wanted something fashionable and stuff. And it's so subtle, but really works. So by the time they're like, oh, resist the devil, and the demon's kind of like, well, these people don't care about you. Your father didn't really care about you. That other priest that came in was just, didn't care about you. But I've cared about you. Like, look at all the things I've done for you. Like, you are happier and stronger with me in your life. And she kind of realises, yes, all her struggles and all her resisting hasn't got her anywhere. But if she gives in, she'll finally be respected as a strong woman. That's all she wanted to be. She wanted to be a woman and not a sheltered child girl. She wanted to be seen as an adult woman. So she's like, oh, especially when the people realise that they're not going to be able, they don't think they're strong enough to exorcise the demon. They're like, they're not strong enough, we'll have to euthanize her. And I'm like, oh, you dicks. You dicks. And she's like, so they didn't try and save me, they gave up. And so she gave up on them.
Yeah. And the only one who never gave up on her was the demon itself. So it makes sense in the end that she chose to be a vessel, because really, why not? I mean, everyone else denied her help or failed her in some ways. So why not? Why not? She was born to belong to the demon. Yeah, why not? Go with it. You have nothing to lose.
No.
So yeah, I really enjoyed to see this different hand, this different point of view, when in the end, really, the demon was like the better option for her.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, as I say, not for humanity. I do like the fact that she's driving down the street and cars are just bursting on flames, and I'm just like,
you can't save everyone.
Yeah,
You can't save everyone, so no. Come on.
And if someone with more conviction and had tried to save her better, like, if Marcus and Thomas had turned up, they would have, they would have saved her. They would have done everything in their power. Yeah, but not everyone can be Marcus and Thomas.
So very true. And we miss them so much. Yeah. Oh, God, so much. We miss them so much. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Perhaps the end was a little bit lame with but hey, wait. We learned something else at the end of the movie. Demons can drive cars, and they can teach you how to drive cars. So
instantly. Probably, it's like, there you go.
Probably I should be possessed to learn how to drive a car. Yeah.
I mean, now is not the time to be learning to drive a car. I think we should just no. Like, let's just sit in our shut-in state.
We have no use for cars right now, but hey, well, something to think about when this madness around the world will end.
I mean, yeah, the film's not amazing. I think a lot of the really good ones. It's no Veronica, our original Exorcist, and some of the other ones that have been fantastic. It's kind of average to good. It does a lot better with its storytelling, its acting, its filming, its lore building. So it gets a little bit slow, and then the ending's a little bit rushed. And I think that's the only thing that brings it down. If they had tightened up the first half of the movie, then they wouldn't have had to have rushed the ending and had a little bit longer for that kind of secret society and the actual exorcism itself. I think would have improved it a lot more. But compared to like first one and where it came from, it was like, whoo, this seems, because I was ready to hate this movie. I was like, this is going to be so bad. And then it started, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not found footage. And I mean, I love found footage, and there are some other good demonic possession found footage movies. I say that, now I'll make you rewatch them, and I'll be like, oh, that wasn't as good as I remembered all over again. And there's a couple that I haven't seen yet, so I have no idea if they're good or bad. But I think it did much better being filmed like a film and used the found footage as something they saw online and went, look at this thing from your past.
Yeah, I totally agree. We are going to watch some of those movies together, so I think we are going to find out together if they are good or not.
Yep.
But yeah, yes, this movie was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't bad. It was a good movie, an average good movie. I enjoyed it. I can't bitch too much about anything in particular. So
Yeah.
I am at peace with myself and with this sequel. And it really tells you a lot if you enjoy the sequel better than the original.
Yes. Much definitely.
So people, thank you so much for listening. And if you want to join us, we have a Twitter account, Beneath Your Skin. We have a Facebook page, Beneath Your Skin. And we have a Tumblr page, Beneath Your Skin 2020. So, and we are on Spotify. So if you want to join us, we are happy and we will be happy to have you. Thank you so much for listening.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Always a pleasure. I look forward to recording the next episode and talking to you all again. Bye-bye.